So for those of you who missed it, last week we got some pretty big news actually for the Battlefield franchise. The Criterion will be joining the team, and today I wanted to just quickly go over that news for anyone who missed it, while also just talking about what I think it could mean for the next game. If you are interested in 2042, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more Battlefield content, and while you're at it, check out the new gaming channel. I'm covering Starfield over there at the moment, and once we hit 1k subscribers on that channel, I will be doing a setup tour over there showing off my brand new setup, so make sure to go and check that out. But with that being said, let's get stuck right into the news. Now, firstly, let me read out what Vince Zampella said in his blog post, just to give you guys, I guess, all the information that you need, and then I'll get into my thoughts on what it could mean for the future of the franchise. Vince said in his blog post, "Hi everyone, today I'd like to share that the talented team at Criterion Games will be joining EA Entertainment. Criterion has a rich history in gaming, having worked on Battlefield, Battlefront, Burnout, and of course Need for Speed. I'm thrilled to have a studio with such pedigree join the studios I oversee. As we've said before, we're all in on Battlefield. Today, Criterion is added to our world-class Battlefield studios dedicated to ushering in a new era for the franchise. The majority of the team will be working alongside DICE, Ripple Effect, and Ridgeline that are led by Byron Bede, GM of Battlefield. Criterion's experience with Battlefield, our technology, and building engaging experiences will have an immediate positive impact as we continue to work on Battlefield 2042, and as we continue pre-production on a connected Battlefield universe. There is no better studio to join us on this journey, and I couldn't be more excited. Work will also continue on what's next for Need for Speed. Many of you might be familiar with my history in games, having worked with extremely talented teams on Apex Legends, Titanfall, and Star Wars Jedi here at Electronic Arts, but you might not know I have a passion for cars, which also makes Criterion a perfect match for me to explore another genre in gaming that I love. I'm really looking forward to working with a core group as we shape what's next for the franchise. Join me in welcoming Criterion to the team. Thanks, Vince." So obviously that is confirmation that Criterion will be joining the Battlefield team. That now means that we've got DICE, Ripple Effect, who is formerly DICE LA, Ridgeline Studios, which is Marcus Leto's new studio, and now Criterion, all working on the next Battlefield game and potentially continuing to work on more after that as well. Now, a bit of context on Criterion: they have worked on Battlefield in the past, funnily enough working on Firestorm in Battlefield 5, as well as doing a little bit of work on 2042 as well. They did also work on Star Wars Battlefront 2, and they've done plenty of vehicle related games such as obviously the Need for Speed franchise as well as Burnout 2. Now, this could mean very good things for the next game. I do think that it's kind of been shown with the most recent Battlefield games, they need a bit of help. They need some extra hands on deck to actually get the games properly done by launch. Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 2042 obviously suffered with pretty much horrendous launches, and although they did turn the game around by the end of those games, and obviously 2042 is still continuing to be fixed, they've kind of shown that they never seem to be ready. And even back in the the peak of Battlefield, those games often had a lot of issues. Battlefield 4 had terrible issues at launch, even though it is one of the best in the franchise. And so I do think it's a really good thing that we've got another really solid studio that have a lot of pedigree in the gaming industry that are now going to be helping out as well, because I do think having more hands on deck is only going to be a good thing when it comes to hopefully launching the next Battlefield in a state that isn't absolutely terrible. I know that 2042 and Battlefield 5 have obviously been a rough period, like I said, for this franchise, but with more studios involved, as well as having Vince Zampella at the helm now, also combined with Marcus Leto leading the story division over at Ridgeline Studios, I do genuinely think the next game could actually be really great, just provided they do give it the time that it needs. I hope they don't rush it out. I hope they don't try and meet deadlines that aren't going to work. It seems as though that was essentially the main issue with 2042, that it just launched pretty much a year too early, and I think if they can just give the next Battlefield the actual time that it needs, probably delaying it a year from when they initially want to launch it, then hopefully that can lead to a really solid game. Because now with DICE, Ripple Effect, Ridgeline, and Criterion all working on it, those are four really solid studios. Obviously, we don't know much about Ridgeline as of right now, but we do know a lot about Marcus Leto. For those who aren't aware, Marcus Leto essentially created Halo. He pretty much created the universe, and obviously there was a whole team behind it, but he was pretty much one of the showrunners on that team, and he actually designed Master Chief and stuff as well. He had a lot to do with the, I guess, setting of that game and the overall aesthetic, and I'm sure you'll all agree, maybe not so much the recent Halos, but the old school Halo games, they were some of the most awesome settings and storytelling within gaming at the time. And so I think having Marcus on board definitely helps in that sense. One of the main issues with Battlefield recently is the tone has been so tone deaf to what we kind of expect from Battlefield. It's been a little bit more goofy. It's been very unrealistic in a lot of ways. Not that Battlefield needs to have realism, but there is a certain amount of realism that I think we all expect in Battlefield Battlefield more just like to do with the characters, and you know, they should feel as though they're in a war, when obviously Battlefield 5 and 2042's characters just did not feel like that whatsoever. They felt pretty cartoonish in a way, and I think Mark Sletto will correct that, which is a big part of what's gone wrong. And then obviously Vince Zampella at the helm as well. He obviously knows how to deliver a really good shooter, and I think those two guys, especially in combination, but just also the whole, you know, all the studios, all four of them, I think if they're given the time that they need, this could result in a really good Battlefield game. It just obviously comes down to whether EA is willing to give them that time, or if they're going to rush them out. But we've seen Vince Zampella before. He has done a lot of things that he's pretty much said no to EA, and he's just said, no, I'm doing it the way that I want it, at which point it's panned out very well for him. And I think EA now trusts him and says, yeah, you can kind of just do what you want because we know that you're going to deliver. And hopefully he does the same thing with the next Battlefield game. But that is going to do it for today's video, guys. I just wanted to fill you in for anyone who did miss it and sort of point at what it could mean for the future. I'm keen to hear all of your thoughts as well, so be sure to let me know down in the comment section, and make sure to keep your eyes peeled on the channel for more 2042 content. I know I haven't really been covering it that much lately. The next video on the channel is actually going to be explaining that, so keep your eyes peeled with that as well. And like I mentioned, be sure to check out the new gaming channel. We will be doing a setup tour once we hit 1K subscribers. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there on the battlefield.